welcome back to Wedding Mayhem. How are you? How are you?
Hello, how are you?
It's Holly from Blank Canvas Weddings. Come to join us as a co-host.
Lovely to see you.
Welcome
Thank you
back.
for having me back.
No, thank you. So Lauren is on maternity leave now, and we're about 2 weeks from giving birth.
Exciting.
Lauren, not me. Or you.
No. I'm done. I've had my babies, all that puppies now.
So if you've not seen Holly's episode, it's already out. Go back and have a look at exactly what you do.
Yes.
How's your week been?
It's been good. It's been busy. Crazy thing happened, actually. Made me think of you. So of my venues. So I run Blank Canvas Wedding Venues, and we have a host of beautiful venues. And one of my venues called me and they said, "Did you book a wedding for this particular date, this August?" And I said no. And they said, a bride turned up and said, "Oh, I'm getting married here." Transpired, she'd been to the registry office, booked a registrar, and she thought she'd booked the venue. Never been in touch with us. And I had 5 minutes of heart palpitations.
We're now in May.
Yeah. So, I can do a wedding quickly, but I didn't know. First of all, I was like, have I got the date?
Did you have the date?
Luckily, we did. And we've got enough staff and it's fine. Oh my goodness, girls, don't book your registrar before you've booked your venue. She thought by booking the registrar that was it.
But which way should we do it? Because some of these registrars are fully booked. And it's the chicken and the egg, isn't it?
It is a bit, but the most important thing is to book your venue, confirm your venue, pay deposit, get deposit confirmation, sign your contracts, get your wedding insurance, and then book your registrar.
What if your registrar's not available for that date?
Well, you can. This thing, it's a bit of chicken and egg because you do need to sort of speak to the registrars and check. Yeah. But the most important thing is
you need to do them both on the same day, don't you?
You do.
Or you get a celebrant in.
Yeah. It's very rare not to get a registrar. It just might be that the timing is slightly different. So if you wanted 1 o'clock, particularly if it's closed, you might have to go to 1:30 or 2. But yeah, it was a little stressful for a few minutes. But luckily it's fine. It's all fine now.
It's fine. So they're all booked in.
Yes.
Is it a big wedding or?
No, it's not actually. No, it's quite small. They are just about to have a baby. So they're having like 20 people for an outside ceremony at Coverwood Lakes. It was beautiful right by the lakes.
The baby before or the baby's coming afterwards?
The baby should have been born actually last week.
Okay, so the baby's going to be born and that's a very stressful time for that bride.
Well, no, because she's got me. She's fine.
The fairy godmother.
Yes, exactly.
Fairy godmother. Well, my week's been very interesting.
Oh, really? Tell me.
I got told to F off this week. So we don't charge for our bridal appointments, but they do have a cancellation charge. Because we've reserved that space for them. I've brought staff in. We clean and prep the rooms prior to them coming in. And the appointment was, I think, about 3:30, something like that. And they arrived with cans of alcohol in their hands.
Oh my God.
They'd had a few beforehand. It was pretty obvious. They were very loud. They came with more guests than we allow. Oh, no. So I addressed that first. Not weirdly enough, but the bride was actually the last one through the door. So she let the spokesperson come in first. And so I thought that was the issue. And I said, really sorry you got too many guests. They were like, the thing is, she found her dress this morning. We're talking 7 hours prior.
Oh my God.
And
why have they still kept the appointment?
Because they didn't want to get charged their late cancellation fee.
Oh my goodness.
So they thought we come to see your bridesmaids' dresses instead. And I went,
but they called you to tell
you? So I said, I don't have bridesmaids' dresses here. And they went, well, we thought you did do bridesmaids. And I went, no, I don't. And they went, well, we'll just have a look round then and try a few on for a laugh. And I'm like, no.
You won't. It's my time.
I said, it is a cancellation. I'm really sorry. And well, we shouldn't have told you that we'd found our dress then, haven't we? And I went, no. So there was lots of raised voices and they were just very, very loud and very obnoxious and put lots of swear words done. And the parting words from the bride as she walked out was, "Fuck off, you slag."
Oh, nice.
Yes.
She sounds like a lovely bride, doesn't she? God help the groom.
Good luck to the groom or the partner.
Sounds like you dodged a bullet there.
100%, 100%. But it's I put it out on socials and actually in our retailer group, and everybody's come forward going, this happens to me weekly. It happens a lot, not just in wedding dress shops, but with suppliers on a whole. You know, and it was upsetting, really. You know, I was really okay with it. Yeah, I've got broad shoulders.
But it does chip away at you, because I don't think people realise how much of ourselves we put into these appointments and how much of our, you know, particularly if you're very invested. When a bride or groom tells you about their day, you are imagining it, you're in there with them.
I know it's really corny, but we do love.
No, we do. You can't be bitter and twisted to do this job. You have to actually be a nice person.
Yeah, exactly.
And you are, like, I find this, I take a couple around a venue.
Yeah.
And, they'll tell me their
Do you
ideas for
charge?
their day. No. No, I don't.
So we're never, you and I are never guaranteed any money across the door, are we,
and
really?
my petrol to get there and back. And, and sometimes you do get there and it's rare because luckily I have lovely couples and I do confirm all the appointments, of course. But it has happened where 2 minutes before I've had, sorry, we're now not going to, and you're like, I've just... my whole life has been put on hold to be here. Exactly. Yeah. The dogs are all right. The tortoises are okay.
You've got a story about a tortoise.
Oh, I have 2 tortoises.
You told me not to ask you about
only just because it's not wedding related. I have 2 tortoises and one turbo, who's quite small. They're brother and sister. He dug under the fence and went to our neighbour's house for over a week. He normally wears an apple tag because he goes walkabout, but he'd taken his apple tag off, and I found him eventually in the back of the neighbour's garden. He'd gone miles. He's crazy, but also he's quite sexual. So he goes out. He goes out looking for tortoise girls. I think he thinks there's like a tortoise strip club. Oh, the things he does to his sister. I walked into the utility room the other day and they were at it on the floor, and I walked in.
I promise you, I did not know this was coming. And I promise you that we don't pick our co-hosts. They just appear like this.
I do a bit sorry. They're in the tone. Well, I'll tell you and then I'll stop being crude. But I walked into the utility room and I just went, oh gosh, sorry, and turned away.
You said sorry to his daughter.
As he's doing things to his sister. It's crazy.
Anyway, that was a lot to unpack.
A lot. But no, we don't charge for appointments. But I do feel like when you're very invested and I've come up with ideas and you're thinking about the day and really imagining the day for them and creating it for them in their mind. Yeah. And then sometimes you never even hear back.
No.
And you think, well, that was a really lovely appointment. Why does someone not even just send you a courtesy email saying, I'm sorry, the venue's not for me? That's fine. I don't mind.
Yeah.
But it's very difficult. Yeah, it's very difficult when you just hear nothing.
Yeah.
Because also I really worry about them.
But they made it back okay.
Yeah, I'm like at 4 a.m. I'm like, I wonder if they're all right. I've never heard back from them. Did something happen?
You're mentioning them at 4 a.m. just checking that you got home okay.
Yeah. Are you alive?
3 rings. Well, that was our week unpacked, and we're going to talk to our guests now, who are going to talk to us about packing. Look at that. Was that good?
It's a good link.
It's me, old Maccas from Devon. Welcome to the Empty Box Company. We've got Bethany, James, and Giselle. Yes. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Yes. Giselle.
Giselle, you can say it like that.
Because you played that in my head. I'm definitely going to say that in a French accent.
Yeah, it's a good way.
So welcome. So you are the Empty Box Company.
Yes.
Where did it all start? What is it to start with?
Well, we make beautiful boxes, mostly for putting a wedding dress away in, but you can put absolutely anything that's beautiful, anything you really want to keep, because our boxes are very good for storing things and stopping them go yellow and protect them. And
yeah, we're going to ask you more about that. You'll see all these boxes, they're handmade.
They're all handmade.
Are they really? Wow.
Like not
by Dave.
Not by me very much anymore.
He runs the workshop.
Yeah, we have a team of 12 people that in the workshop that make them from scratch. I mean, we make them from the flat board all the way through to the end.
Wow.
So amazing.
Okay. And how long have you been doing this?
37 years.
37
years.
Yeah.
So I've known you for 24 years.
Yeah.
In fact, you were my, apart from wedding dresses, you were my first sort of accessories, because I bought your boxes for displays and everything like that. So and 2 of my wedding dresses from previous weddings have actually been stored in your boxes.
There are quite a few.
Yes.
Come back, Lauren. All is forgiven. Quickly give back. Push.
Where's terrible ones? No, but it's nice that you can categorise your wedding dresses properly.
You see them when she's inching back like this. I know whether or not that well. Yeah, I mean, and the dress in the middle came out. It had been stored there for about 10 years. And
seriously, that long?
Perfect,
it was absolutely fine.
Wow.
Perfect. And it smelt perfect as well.
That's incredible.
Yes.
So
So we spend...
we do meet people. I meet people and they say, oh, I've got my dress in a box. It's a lovely box. Is it your box? And it's like, well, has it got ribbon and lace and looks really beautiful? Yes. And it's like, yes, that's our box.
Oh, so good. And
it's really nice.
The story of you starting this company is Wonderful. Will you share it?
Yes.
Becky's going to all go cringe now, going, oh God, they used to kiss back in the day.
To be fair, I was 12 when my brother was born, so that's just it.
We just have to actually say we've got mum and dad and daughter.
Yes.
We're definitely a family affair going on.
Yes, we are. Yeah, so we met at university, and it was a small college, and kind of if you volunteered to do anything, you got the job. So we spent our whole time doing lots of other things, which was organising balls.
You mean other than learning?
Other than doing our degree. So when we sort of had to leave, we sort of thought, do we really want to go into a conventional job and be really boring and everything? So we were trying to think what we were setting up a few other things, and we came across an old-fashioned hat box in a tailor's shop that was shutting down. We'd done a lot of theatre as well, so we thought, that hat box, why don't we revive the Edwardian hat box? Yes, we'll do it, quite young. Quite wild. And so we came back and thought, right, we're going to do this. So we looked into it, did get someone to help us make it. Quite hard going, because you've paid...
Round as well, isn't it?
Yeah. And you've paid, in those days you might have paid £40 for a hat, and then you didn't really want to pay for another almost as much for a box. But then we did look into wedding dress boxes, inspired by my mother's wedding dress that was in a brown cardboard box on top of the wardrobe. And we sort of went, what about a beautiful wedding dress box that's for, like an old Edward, you undo the ribbon, So we looked into that, and then I went to see the Victoria and Albert Museum and had a long chat with them about storage and protection and, so that things don't discolour. And so you then sort of worked on a simple square box, but that had all the criteria. And so we made one for my mother's wedding dress.
So the research was what? What were you researching?
Yeah, so we were talking to the conservation department of the Victoria and Albert Museum to understand what a natural fabric would do over time, and how, which is go yellow very slowly. Yes. And how to slow that down or prevent it.
Yeah.
So we then went to board companies, because we had to work out how to make it.
Yeah.
Board companies, so that we ended up with a board that was pH neutral. So we've got an acid-free environment.
Yeah.
And it's what the dress lies next to that accelerates that yellowing process.
Right.
So we've mitigated that by taking all those impurities out.
Okay.
So that the inside of the box is, as you know, is pure white.
Yeah.
And it's wrapped in acid-free tissue paper.
Yeah.
So after...
Even now, people don't understand what acid-free paper is. I say it to my customers when they leave me, where you must wrap this in acid-free. Or if I'm giving them a box that's got a veil in it, that's already got the paper, that we've put paper in it. And we're like, do not throw it away. It looks crumpled, but don't throw it away. They're like, why? What is acid-free paper?
Like if you put your dress in a brown cardboard box, which are highly acidic, a normal brown box, it would discolour.
What makes them acidic?
Well, it's just the process of making it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's inside
not a pure.
Inside the pulp already from virgin pulp and recycled pulp, and we use a recycled board which washes those impurities out, which are naturally occurrent inside paper and wood and paper. So a bit like putting a white t-shirt in a wooden drawer.
Right.
You kind of know instinctively.
When you get it out next summer, it's a bit yellow, so you need to wash it.
So that's
and it's really hard to get that out, isn't it? Once that's particularly in a wedding dress.
And they're breathable as well, so they're not vacuum packed or sealed up. So there is a breathability environment as well. So we've got a natural environment for the dress to store.
So research was really important.
Yeah, from the get-go. Yeah.
What did your parents think of this? Because they must have thought, my God, they've gone to university.
Yeah.
They walked hand in hand down a cobble street, looked in a window of a boarding hat box, and they must have thought you'd gone off your rocker.
Yes, they did.
Did they?
Completely, absolutely. They just thought...
What were you going to be when you grew up?
Well, I did rural environment studies, which is like conservation of the countryside.
Yes.
And James did...
horticulture. We were an agricultural...
So you're supposed to be farmers?
Yeah, I guess.
There we go, Bethany. Farmer's daughter.
Lucky me. Well, our workshop is on the farm, you see. So
right, okay. Yeah.
But no, they were very sort of disappointed, a bit confused, like, what are you doing with your life? When are you going to, of course we were really poor because we were sort of propping ourselves up with other businesses, just other work, just to sort of keep it going, really. But that, then slowly but surely, because we got a wedding dress box, and you might have spent £3,000 on your wedding dress,
or more.
Various, as time's gone on. But to put your dress away, which you're not necessarily going to wear again very often, are you? Yeah. And you've spent lots of money on it. What do you do with it? So to put it in a really beautiful romantic box that will keep it as it is, sort of ticks some boxes. Yeah. And so from that point onwards, things started to sort of improve, and we were busier, and our parents were going, okay, I get this, okay, so entrepreneur.
I think generations are very, protective, you're probably the same, I'm the same with my son when, he's just changed job, and I'm like, oh, God, what are you doing? And
they've got to find their feet as well, haven't they? Because you can start something and then it doesn't work out, you start something else, you just got to let kids do that, really.
So you got the business started, what happened? Where did you go from there?
Well, we worked in Surrey, in a workshop in Surrey, and just trained people up, and you did a lot of the making, I did a lot of the marketing. But we did need to relocate because we did run out of space, and space in Surrey is very expensive.
It is very expensive, yes.
So it's a very different business. Everything's on paper. You advertise in magazines and stuff like that. It's so different. You were taking orders on a notepad, weren't you? You didn't have your online system. Not that I was there.
You're too young.
I'm too young. I've been told.
Country air suits you. But I started my business 24 years ago, and we were on notebooks then. And that's the way you did it.
Advertising wedding magazines, and there wasn't social media, and we sort of mail ordered our brochure, but it's all different now. But we did get a website quite early on, actually.
Did you?
Yeah, we had a website, and you could buy online quite early on. So
but we've always sold to bridal shops, and that's where we started.
Right. Okay.
We would literally.
So how did you pitch it to bridal stores? Was it because it's a new thing, wasn't it? I suppose.
Well, we exhibited at Harrogate Bridal Show, which was new to us, and we just had a small size.
You went recently, didn't you?
Carnage. We're professional in the day, and then it's like saying trillions at night, isn't it?
It's the rag trade.
It's the rag trade. It is.
But yes, that takes time to establish yourself at Harrogate, and we did have quite a few sort of more of the older fashioned bridal shops that would march on and go, well, my brides wouldn't want one of those, and off they'd go. Yeah. I'd be like, oh, thank you.
So it did take a long time, didn't it, really,
education.
to get established?
Isn't it education?
Yeah, and as younger people started to own bridal shops, they could sort of more open to new things, and they went, oh, wow, these are great,
Because I think also that back in the day, they didn't really store their wedding dresses. They chopped up for christening gowns and stuff like that, so they didn't need to store it.
There was also a lot of hire back then as well.
There was?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's funny
30 years ago, everyone was hiring dresses.
Yes, you're right.
Don't do now, do you?
Yeah.
Both our parents kept their wedding dresses, but I guess they were married in the 50s. Maybe it was.
But my mother did make the train of her dress into something, I think.
It normally is the canopy of the baby's cot. And the christening gown as rest, so they did chop it up in pieces.
I once had a bride, when I used to work in Bridal, I had a bride come for an appointment, and she said, she was telling me about her wedding, and I was going to style her for a dress, and she had this Sainsbury's bag with her. I'll never forget it. And she said, whatever the dress is, it has to go with this family veil. And she pulled out this veil. It was completely orange. It was literally the colour of the chair. It looked like it had been next to a load of Marlborough Reds for 6 weeks. And she said, this is, and I was thinking, oh my God, so it ruined every dress she put it with, obviously. Oh my God. And bless her, she put on every dress and went, oh, this dress is amazing, it's lovely. And then her mum went, with the veil, and stuck this god-awful thing in her hair. And then she went, oh, it just doesn't go. And I'm thinking, a bin bag wouldn't even go. It's awful. So in the end, I said to them, I feel like we should maybe repurpose the veil. What if we make it into the cake table? and we've dressed the cake table in this beautiful family veil, and we can drape it around, and that way it's there all day, because otherwise you're only going to wear your veil for really pretty much ceremony, and then, and I did not want this veil anywhere in this dress, and luckily that's what they did. So
I actually had the opposite of that.
Oh no, really?
And we had a very posh bride, and Mum was pushing the veil, and they were falling out about this veil. The veil wasn't there, and I said, look, just bring it in. I went, it won't go. Leave it with me. You know, I'll talk her out of it, because I'll say it won't go with the dress, you know. And anyway, they came in with this bag, and it was one of the old Tesco's bags with the blue and white stripes. It should have been in a museum, this bag, and there was no hope whatsoever for this veil, a bit like yours, orange. You know, the bag was covered in God knows what else, and the paper came out and it crumbled.
Oh my God!
And it was yellow.
Oh no.
But out of the ashes came the most beautiful veil we have all ever seen. It was absolutely stunning, and there was loads of it. It kept coming out, and there was flowers, and there was a plique, and it was hand stitched. It was just absolutely stunning. It didn't go with the dress. It clashed with the dress, but she still wore it. But what saved that veil was acid-free paper. Although it was stuffed in a carrier bag. But there was the acid-free paper.
No Tesco bags here.
Yeah, it was just so it's important to preserve. Because even if you don't know what you're going to do with it.
Well, I wore your veil at my wedding.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I did.
Yes. And actually it was perfect.
Yeah, it was.
I think I just gave it a little rinse and that was it.
Yeah. As bridal stores, we're seeing more and more keepsakes coming back in. They're really important. We're putting things that Grandma had at her wedding, and they're like, we don't know what to do with it, and we'll make a little pocket inside the wedding dress on the on the heart side that we can put a piece of fabric, or their wedding rings in there and stuff like that. So these things are important now, and I think hopefully we're coming out from a throwaway era into keeping things, especially memories like this. It's important.
Yes, and you're not left with much, are you, after your wedding?
No.
You've got your husband.
No, it's just a husband.
Your husband. You got your phone.
Sorry, James. I'm sure you're lovely, but
I'm sure you're lovely.
I think you should ask these two.
No, don't.
It's another podcast, that one. So you've actually grown up in this industry, so you were born into it.
I was, yes.
So what's made you carry on?
I think I just didn't. It was so natural, because it was like I grew up in and around wedding dresses, and I was going to Harrogate every year, which was like the highlight of the year, and would always be taken up school to go to Harrogate. So it was like, guys, I don't know if you know, my parents are kind of a big deal in the wedding industry, and that's I can't really talk about it, but yeah, I'm going, no. You had to make it glamorous, because you'd tell people, oh, my parents make boxes for a living, and they'd be like, cool, like that sounds great. And so
my son used to tell people that his mum was going to Fashion Week. She was in charge.
Exactly.
And they were looking out for me on catwalks on telly, and stuff like that. And it was like, you couldn't
so
see
cute.
you, Mum, and I went, no, I wasn't at that one. That was Paris.
Funny that, But so it was kind of, I remember going to the London bridal show, which I don't think they did sort of 1 year, and then it wasn't very successful. But it was about, I don't know, probably 10 years ago now. And I just remember being like, do you know what, actually the wedding industry is quite cool. Like, I just sort of, I'd grown up and never really thought anything of it. It was just what my parents did.
And you were a model, weren't you?
Yes. I've been, when I was younger.
You wanted to try on the dresses. So for the following year, I sort of said, my daughter is, I think about 9, I think. And she's very happy to model some of your bridesmaid dresses. And so this...
that must be Busy Bee, because they were always near you.
Yeah, maybe it was Busy Bee.
We've got photos of them.
And that was so lovely. She was so gorgeous.
So growing up in the industry, you have an insight on it. I know you bring in more of a modern touch to...
Yeah, I guess so,
Well, you are, because Bethany does all our social media.
Completely need her now.
Listen, I've been doing it 24 years.
It's different.
It's important to keep yourself out there and current, and having younger people in there will give you more insight on what people are wanting and forecasting what we're going to need as well. I always take my girls
to do TikToks.
TikToks. Oh, we must see this. We did actually.
You could do great TikToks with the boxes.
Put people in them.
Yes. Sorry, that's cross.
No.
That's cross.
But you could do, there's lots that I feel like this is like a whole of there's a lot of
we are actually going to do a demonstration of how to pack a wedding dress in a box. So do keep watching, and we're going to do that towards the end. So you guys are going to do that for us.
I'm excited about that because I've got to confess something.
Oh, you don't tell me your wedding dress is over the landing staircase.
No, it's in my son's wardrobe. No. Because I put it on all the time.
Oh, okay. That's all right.
What's put me off, I've been married 13 years now, but what puts me off putting it away, because this is beautiful, because also one of the things is that the boxes I've seen previously aren't that great looking. So these are obviously very beautiful, so that's lovely. But will I be able to get it out and wear it easily?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Giselle will show you.
We'll show you.
Yes, and it's really good to not necessarily just leave it and then forget about it.
Yeah.
The whole point is that you can take it out, you can show it to your children.
Yeah. How I put mine on recently. Did you see that thing on Instagram where girls were, it's mostly in America, they were putting on their wedding dresses and like setting up a camera and they're waiting and then the husband walks in.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, oh my God. And I thought this is
it's because his dinner's not on the table. That's why he's crying.
So I thought it was the day before our 13th year anniversary, and I thought I'm going to put my dress back on. So I put it on, stayed on the landing, and my daughter helped me to put it out. I did look great. And I called my husband. First of all, I was like, can you come up here? No, why do I want to come here? And I was like, no, can you come here? Can you come here? Eventually, he comes around the corner of the staircase.
They ruin it every time.
And goes, what the hell are you wearing that for? And I said, well, don't I look great? He went, yeah, you do. What's for dinner? I did not have the effect I was hoping it would. But it's nice. It would be lovely to be able to have it looking beautiful.
Yeah, and I think people get scared of packing the boxes themselves. Like for me, I pack their suitcases when they go abroad.
Yes.
And they're like, "Can you do it?" And I went, "You can do it." And they'll do a 2-hour trip to get to me, just for me to spend like 10 minutes just packing it in.
Yeah,
so it is fairly easy to do. And you can do this at home, can't you?
Yeah,
absolutely.
We always pack it free of charge. You buy the box, I'll pack it for you. It's not a problem. So packing it back in is not going to be a problem.
That's good.
No.
I can still wear it around the house.
We have the details on how to pack it, there's a little step-by-step guide, and we've actually got a video as well.
Have you? Okay, we're going to give out all their details at the end, and links and everything, so definitely go back.
So when they arrive, sorry, I have a question still.
Yeah.
When they arrive, how does it, so it would come to my house literally just like this?
that.
Right,
Said
okay.
you come to my house. You come to my house.
Hand deliver it, as well as hand make it, hand deliver it.
Okay, and then it comes with all the tissue and everything inside.
Yes.
Yeah.
Comes in a
absolutely ready to go.
plastic-free plastic bag.
Yeah.
Because we're very environmentally
Which you
friendly.
have to discard if you're storing over a long period of time, is that
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah. Lay it on top, maybe
Yeah.
keep the dust off, but don't put it back in its plastic bag.
Yeah.
And then in a cart, if it's going straight to the bridal or shop, it's in a carton, so it's really well packed.
Okay.
So we get.
I have never ever had a box delivered from you that's been damaged.
Brilliant.
Oh, that's good.
That's 24 years, and I do a lot of boxes with you.
Yeah.
So they always come perfect.
Yes. There's an art to packing them, isn't there? To make sure they're very well protected.
Yeah.
And they're not that big, actually, are they? Because I mean, my
No,
dress is...
you can go massive.
We have got huge
Yeah,
ones.
but it's still, it's not... Is this the largest?
No, we go bigger.
What's the
too
biggest
big, is it?
dress that you have? The biggest dress that you have packed?
So we're the biggest box that we've made.
There's a story here. Look.
What were you going to say?
Well, there was Colleen Rooney's dress.
Oh, I see. Yes.
You did Colleen
Probably not
Rooney.
supposed to say that.
No, you are.
And Rebecca Vardy. Funnily
Yes.
enough. Yeah, both of them have got
Did you
their
switch the boxes?
Well, at some point they were obviously friends, weren't they?
They were
had
friends.
A little
Yeah.
wedding dress party. But
Whose dress was bigger?
I think Colleen Rooney's was massive.
Was it?
Absolutely.
Did
massive.
you pack it for her?
No,
went to
but I
dry
think we
cleaner,
had
I
to.
think.
It took like a day to make it.
So you had to make the box to her specification or her size?
Which we'll do. And I think we've made an even bigger one. But I was looking at some photos the other
You could
day.
pack husbands in them.
Definitely. Well, even our Hollywood Extreme.
Behave yourself, John.
Put your husband in, definitely.
Yeah.
You could just pop out at the.
I mean, you could get
church.
Wayne in this one, couldn't you?
Nice though to have like one for the wedding dress and then one for all the lovely keepsakey things.
Yeah, so I had on my wardrobe, I had the black and white Medusa, I want to call it.
Yes.
And that's stunning. And I literally had 3
Oh, lovely.
stacked on top of the wardrobe. I had one of those sort of Victorian railed wardrobes, and that looked really, really pretty.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I've got my wedding dress box, which is an extra large, and then I've got 2 like memento boxes, and I think 2 little hat boxes, all on top of my wardrobe. Luckily our ceiling's quite high, just full of wedding memories, because why not?
Yes.
Why not? I keep all the stuff. I think I nicked some stuff from the kilt surprise.
I nicked some stuff. Call the police.
I felt like, what are they called on
I nicked some stuff.
The kilt.
Skidoo?
The thing that hold the socks up on
Garters.
kilts. Yeah. But on the
that's
kilts, I've kept one of them, which wasn't meant.
Oh, you mean you forgot to send it back?
I forgot to send it back.
Oh, I nicked it, or I did.
And, and stuff like that, just little bits, and you can go through it and then be like, oh yeah, that was from my wedding.
It's a trigger, isn't it? It's like keeping the cork.
Yes.
From the bottle, And I think, I don't know whether you did it or not, but I know from my last wedding that when our champagne bottle got corked, the maitre d' came over and he went, keep this safe. That was from your wedding. Kept it with the others.
Dated.
Dated.
That's nice. That whenever we did quite a lot of
1, 2, 3. Right, James.
You could colour coordinate the boxes. Have the box in that colour for that wedding.
All right, enough about me.
But it's a lovely way to show the memories to your kids.
It is.
Isn't it? It's really sweet.
What's the most unusual dress that you've done?
Unusual box?
Yeah.
Well, you
I think it's
had
that
to make
huge
that
one, which we had.
The one for cats, in terms of an unusual.
Oh, okay.
You put cats in a box?
No, we made.
No.
So we get asked.
Not a wedding dress box.
Okay.
It was a chocolate box for a film, but it was like a big.
So we got. It was for Cats, the film Cats, which didn't go down very well, but it was kind of a big deal at the time from them. So we literally got the blueprint, like you would get for a house, in inches, because it's an American funded film of this chocolate box, which I had to make after we were closed in the evenings, and it took me hours and hours and hours, really, really precise, with a hinge on it. In fact, we had to make 2, and it was for the scene which you won't remember, but there's cockroaches that come out of a chocolate box and do a little dance, and so they asked us to make this box. I reckon it took about 20 hours to make, something like that. And they were really, really precise about it.
How did they find you?
I don't know, actually. I guess that's the...
Because they're so well known.
Yes, thank you, Molly. Yes.
Where have you been? We all know them.
That's also not your only film credit, though, is it? No. You've done quite a lot. Come on, let's do some name dropping.
Okay, Bridgerton?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mr. Selfridge.
Yeah.
I remember seeing
Downton
Selfridge. They were all stacked, weren't they?
Hat boxes at the bottom of the stairs, that's right.
Yeah, Downton Abbey, EastEnders. You've done EastEnders.
What did you do on EastEnders?
Oh, just whenever anyone's had a wedding. I think there's been like 3 or 4, haven't there?
One of our cake ladies that came on here, she did the Queen Vic celebratory cake.
Oh wow!
Actually, it was on set. It was part of the scene. But she made it too well, and they went, "No, you're gonna have to mash it up a bit." So she had to like squish the flower pots outside because it was too perfect. Because I think Kat supposed to have made it or something that was ridiculous. So that was really cool.
Yeah,
I think whenever you with theatre or film or television, if you want to make a point of something special being given, they do, the props departments look sort of, how can we make this a big sort of entrance? This is your gift, or I'm about to take my dress and my groom's run out on me, so and I put it back. We did that on one, and she was sort of like getting her dress out very sadly from her box and putting it back in. It's like, that's such a good shot of the box.
Yeah, I made that. I made that. It
Yeah.
must make you feel really proud when you see that.
Oh, totally.
It's really good for everyone at work, because although it's quite a relaxed atmosphere and everyone makes a box from scratch, so we don't have a production line or anything like that. Everyone works on their own desk and it's handmade.
Is somebody responsible for this end and somebody's responsible for that end?
They're all responsible for the box from the beginning to end. So
I love that.
they know that it's one of
So
theirs.
it's handmade by one person.
Yeah. So.
And the dog gets involved in this. Here.
Yes.
You've got naughty dog that runs off with the ribbons.
Yes.
That's so cute.
Well, I did used to have a dog called Nutmeg, and she was very good, and she she knew what was what and just wandered around and everything. But when we lost her, I got Luca, and Luca's a puppy, and she's just naughty, just completely naughty. She'll like steal your shoes. So if you take your shoes off, that's it. She goes out with them. But she also likes, taking a roll of ribbon. Anything that someone's like, oh, I'll just put the ribbon there. Right, I'm having that. Goes and runs off with it. And then you have to chase around. It's like, just drop it.
Oh, it's like the menopause. It's under the middle of the room going, oh, where did I put that? Perhaps my cat's got it.
Yeah, it's Luca, she's run with it.
Oh, so when they've seen one of their boxes, it must fit.
Oh, in a film or it's amazing. It is really good.
Listen, working for yourself is very hard, and the only person that's going to do this is yourself. So when they see that must be real lovely.
It's lovely.
How can we talk about the environment?
Yes.
Yeah. How are they environmental friendly?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a bit of an environmentalist myself, aren't I?
Well, your background again is the agricultural side as well, so completely. It goes hand in hand, doesn't it? I suppose.
So I think the first thing that we do, and we've always done, is try and source our raw materials from the UK if we can, and near Europe if we can't.
How difficult is that?
Really difficult. But we put lace on the inside of some of the boxes, which is a nice touch, and
really
we
cute.
Offer it without. But most
we'll show you at the demonstration.
People want it.
I have to say, when our brides open those boxes, seeing that bit of lace makes them go all like gooey. It's like, it's not nice.
For a long time, we were importing the lace because I thought there was no one in the UK that made it anymore. But it took about a year. We found somebody in Derby who had got the old pattern for what's called Rachel lace trim, and still had a machine going.
Oh
wow!
And they now make it for us.
Fantastic! So you've reignited. That's why somebody else's business, really, haven't you?
Yeah. So that's the first step: is try and bring everything that makes the box, the board, the paper, the lace, the ribbon, the tissue, all of that. Try and get that made in the UK if we can, and nearly all of it is. There's the odd thing that comes from, some of the ribbon comes from France, but in the main.
Which actually during COVID was a really plus, because no one could get hold of their materials. Because we were mostly, all our materials came from the UK, we were fine, which was brilliant.
And everyone in COVID was organising their houses.
Yes.
So stop putting things in boxes.
Yes. Oh, they were. We got loads and loads of orders off Etsy because people were just going, "What am I going to? I'm going to organise everything." Yeah. So that was good. Yeah.
So the board is recycled board, which is good.
Okay.
And we reuse. So if we're cutting the paper, we'll keep the paper and we'll use it for. We've got a stationery range, pen pots and things like that. So we'll use the paper on that, and then anything else which is not that much, we recycle everything. We have very, very little waste to landfill. We recycle as much as we possibly can,
and we send things to like nursery schools to reuse the paper. And
I do that with my bits and pieces, leftover lace and stuff like that. Little bags and buttons and everything go over to them and everything. Can we talk about trees?
Yes. I mean, so when we relocated to Devon, we built our workshop, and we did build it from environmentally friendly materials, which was quite a headache, but we built that whilst we were running.
You are the good life.
Aren't
you? Margot's Margot. It's you. I've seen you in your penny. I have.
I mean, a lot of people go, "Oh, living the dream in Devon," but it's right. You do still live the dream, but it's hard work, and we are very off the beaten track. So, but we live on a farm, so we do have the opportunity of having our own tree planting scheme. So it's not like you sort of pay somebody to plant a tree and you've got no idea whether it works. We have actually, I mean, I love planting trees, so I plant the trees and I rope help in a bit, but on the whole, I'm out there digging at weekends and putting trees.
I'm thinking that you're having a ceremony and you've got like a tiara on. No.
For every tree.
That would be me. high heels and a tiara.
On the patio,
You're
going,
the
Mum, this
Margot.
left.
Yeah, and the wedding dresses had to come out the box.
You're definitely the Margot. Yeah. No, it's just
I don't know what
because
you're talking about.
Yeah,
It's a good life.
They would have made you watch series after series after series.
Yeah, I think you are the Felicity Kendall, whatever. I can't
Yes,
remember.
Yeah, you're definitely Jerry.
Yeah. But yeah, so you can offset your delivery of your box by contributing £1 to your delivery.
And that's for every box.
Yeah.
Yes,
that
and
you-
we
that
match
you
fund
make.
that, and then that is purely
that's
spent
amazing.
on our tree planting.
That's incredible.
And we also grow meadows, we're doing a bit of rewilding because it's all very good for carbon capture, which, I think we've all got to be responsible as businesses.
Doing our bit.
Yeah.
Definitely doing our
And
bit.
you've got solar panels and all of that. You know, that sort of stuff as well.
Yeah, I think obviously if you're a business, an industry, really, so that's really important.
Yeah.
Because you're obviously
We put
using
in
more
a-
electricity than
An air source heat pump for heating the building fairly recently.
Okay.
We're off solar panels, so
good.
we're getting to be
We're getting there.
to being net
It's
zero.
always difficult.
Yeah.
I think we're more than offsetting by the tree planting that Giselle's doing.
Yeah, I love it that you are very thoughtful in your process. You know, not many people are, and I think that's because it comes from a family rather than a factory.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What's your competition like? No, do it your way.
No,
There's plenty of people out there that will do a
just
box.
sort of
Yes,
fold up
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yes, there are some sort of like flat pack boxes,
Yeah.
and they're not over exciting. And
I've just got to say, please stop taking your wedding dresses on aeroplanes in those cardboard boxes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
They are absolutely wrecked by the time that you get the other side. They've collapsed. You
mistake.
can't get them out on the way back. You
Yes,
do the
'cause we haven't
mentioned
the travel boxes,
Yeah, you do the travel
yeah.
boxes as
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
and that you can store your dress in that afterwards as
Yeah.
well.
Yes.
You know, but they will. It'll be the same coming back as it is going.
Yeah.
These
Yeah.
boxes
Yeah.
literally collapse.
Yeah.
They've ripped
And it
it all.
can, they're with their hand luggage size as well for most airlines, so they stay with you as well because luggage goes missing left, right, centre.
And it looks pretty.
It does.
So the airline won't go to that. It needs to go in the hold. If
Yeah.
they,
Yeah.
they will make room
Yes,
for it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's just-
Also, if it's a wedding, generally people are so excited that they want to help, don't
Yeah,
they?
got a
Yeah.
bride on board.
You'd be
Yeah.
surprised.
You look great, don't you?
Yeah,
With your,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
your travel
Yeah,
box
the
and-
amount of people that say, "Oh, the airline said I can put it in the staff locker in their wardrobe," and then they get there and
that's
go,
so
"No, there's been a
nice.
security alert. Everything's got to go in the hold." And then back,
Go in
they
your
have to
wedding
pack
dress,
it in their suitcase and stuff like that. But if you're going on with one of those little boxes, they'll we'll make room for that.
Yeah,
That's not a
exactly.
problem.
Yeah.
So, but competition-wise, so making it the way that you make it, there is nobody.
And I think it's skilled, difficult, takes time. And
Yeah.
I think we've been doing it a long time, but I think if you went into business now, you might pick something that was easier to work out how to do.
Yeah.
I mean, all the staff that work with us have got a creative mindset as well as a qualification, so they're already good with their hands.
What qualifications do you need?
So, well,
I'm just thinking when I relocate to Devon,
Yes.
I need a job.
you have to have
Sitting guilds.
Sitting guilds.
So what we look for is, so you have to have English and maths GCSE.
Okay.
Because although it feels like, well, there's nothing to read,
I'm
nothing
buggered.
to add up.
That's us done.
I think I've got it in a loft in a box somewhere.
But generally, we're actually looking. I mean, cutting the paper is quite complicated. You've got to know your numbers, which is where the maths comes in. But on the whole, we look for someone that's just good at it, creative, and we do get them in a job interview. Well, we sort of
You can
interview
get
them.
really, really clever people, but they're not
That's exactly
practically minded.
exactly.
And we do get them to make a box, and we kind of subtly watch them.
Yeah.
And you can just see it.
Subtly
It's
watch
like,
them.
they're either
You
like
should film that. I'd love to watch
paper
people trying to
everywhere.
That would be so funny. I bet you guys have such a laugh behind the screen. Just like, oh my God, you see what he's doing?
Look at that corner.
So we get our other members of staff to sort of like keep an eye on what's going on and help them and everything. And then so at the end we sort of have a little gather round and it's like, not that one.
Not that one.
It's really helpful.
Yeah, but that's a very clever process, and I love as well that you have one person making the whole brand,
from start to
because
finish.
it must be really disheartening if you just do this bit and then pass it to Bob.
That's it.
And then Bob does that
yes,
bit because you're never actually seeing the end product. Like,
Yeah,
you're only
yeah.
folding a corner.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a little bit like probably our job, really. I lose them to you.
Yes.
When there's a big part of their wedding that I don't get to be part of. But when they come back with their wedding dresses and we get them cleaned and boxed for them, then we get all the stories. So that for me, and they bring their pictures in and stuff like that. So, you know, I am sort of there. But if I don't then see them after they've taken their dress, that's it. And I feel a bit like, oh, bye.
I do think
Bring them at 4 a.m. going, did it go right? Call me 3 rings. Can we talk about the paper?
Yes.
Because the paper is important, isn't it? It's not just any wallpaper.
Well, we use interior design paper, which is mostly from people like Designers Guild and Sandersons, and I tend to choose the design that I think will work for wedding dresses or for what we have in mind. Some papers we do get printed for us.
Can brides say, can I have a particular one?
Absolutely, yeah. So we've got lots of choice of designs on the website. So I'm always going to I really want to do this design. And James goes, really? Another one? It's like, but it'll look so good.
It must be hard though. But also, same as us, with wedding dresses, we've got to make sure that we've got plenty of choice. Because I don't want to be one of those shops that says, oh no, I've only got this, sorry. I don't like saying no to people. So I think, but for your choice, you've got the plains, but then you've got the vibrant patterns, and you've got the paisley that I pretty much matched today. And ribbons of different colours. How many ribbons do you have?
So it's nearly 80 different colours.
Wow.
So, and it's amazing. One pink will go, oh, that'll go. Oh no, it's not quite the right pink, so sometimes you do need lots of different shades of the same colour, really.
So it must be quite a big meeting when you're deciding which ribbon goes with which box.
Yeah, it's a meeting that goes like this. We go... In the workshop, we go that, and we go...
Buckle up, he's coming in.
Giselle, which colour goes with that? And she goes, that one.
Yeah, I get the
fine. And you go...
Okay.
I'll get the dinner on. We're going to do packing of the dress, but before we do that, we've got questions from the public. Do you mind doing a couple of questions from us?
Oh gosh, okay.
There's 5 of us, so let's see what it is. Do you want to
thank you.
So these are random. They've come from all over. You don't look so nervous.
Right.
We don't know what's in here.
So it's just...
it could be a question or it could be a story.
Do I get one too?
Yeah, you can get one. Right, who wants to go first? Bethany, you want to go first?
Okay. Do I read it out?
Yeah.
I'm a +1 and also the groom's ex. No one knows. That's it. That's all it says.
I am a +1.
I'm a +1 and also the groom's ex. No one knows.
No, she's a +1.
Yeah, she's a +1.
Okay. Sorry.
So she's also the ex-girlfriend of the groom. Nobody knows that she's the ex-girlfriend.
Does he?
I need more information. How serious
Well, he must know.
He'll get surprised though, won't
he's
he?
a +1.
Well, yeah, that's true.
What if he doesn't know?
No, I don't think he does know.
No one knows.
If she's a +1, the groom wouldn't necessarily know exactly. So he might turn around and go,
she's here.
Oh, I see.
And this is actually quite a good question because how do we vet our +1s? We don't, do we?
No. It depends whether she wants to ruin his wedding or not, really.
Well, it doesn't have to ruin his wedding.
You've been watching too much Bridgerton.
She would have to say, when you RSVP, you'd say your name.
Sometimes you don't.
No,
I had
+1,
my middle wedding. People turned up with people I didn't know as their +1s because that's the original. What you do is +1s, but now I think it's important probably to name them.
Yeah.
People, you need to know who's coming to your wedding.
We need more info.
I need a lot more information. I need to know how
we're going worst case scenario. She's going to trash that way. She's going to stand up and go, I object.
He'll turn around and go, oh my God, it's you.
Yeah. Say the wrong
you.
name, have a Rachel and Ross name.
Yes,
right.
Be able to marry.
Who wants to go next?
We haven't really answered the poor girl's question.
Oh, we don't know. We need those questions.
I think
it's a statement, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of a statement.
I suppose,
don't go. So just don't go.
Or she could contact the groom and say, look, heads up, I've been invited. Congratulations. Are you happy with me coming?
If you're a nice girl.
Yeah.
I don't think she's a nice girl.
Why would she want to go?
No.
Well, she might have gone.
It's just a statement, isn't it? I reckon that
It's the groom's
dad.
Yeah. She's literally, you might as well put on there, dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Oh,
Make
tell
a
her
film.
to call in and
I don't know why you
tell
want
us
to
more.
go though. Yeah.
Tell us what happened.
Yeah.
Ring us, 3
we
rings.
need to know. We need to know more.
Who wants to go next?
Okay, I didn't understand this when I read it for the first time and the second time, but
didn't
now I think I do. And this is really interesting because I'll tell you what in a minute. Love the speechwriter top tip. I don't know whether you've done a speechwriter.
Yeah, we had a speechwriter. Yeah, okay. Richard. Yeah, he came back and said he's our hypnotist who was on this last week.
Okay. Yeah. So his top tip clearly was put speech on card, not paper, as paper will shake if you do.
Yes.
So
good point.
And not
whenever I do a speech, which I've done a few times, last time probably at your wedding.
Yes. It's all right.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was good actually.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I was surprised by other people that it was good.
What was
No,
good
it was
about
good.
it? Oh,
No, it was good because
I
it
get
was
it.
all
Yeah,
about
because
me. That's why
Yes, it was all about you.
Because also when you're fanning yourself or you're like so it looks like you're nervous. Get it?
So during this is slightly off piece, but Bethany and you and now husband got married during during COVID.
Oh yeah.
So there were 30 people at the wedding in a church with with a row of pews in between family members, socially distancing.
Perfect. No problem.
And I wept through the entire service, right the way through.
Which is also on Zoom, by the way.
Yeah, it's not
not
publicly
sobbing
available.
or anything.
No, I was
Just emotional.
So my sister was there, and she's a maths teacher in a big comprehensive school, and obviously gets up and talks to people without crying quite a lot. So she just said to me, "I'm really worried about you after the service.
Yeah.
Are you doing a speech?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm doing a speech on cards." And she said, "Are you going to be able to get through it?" And I went, "I don't know." So she gave me a little pebble, and she said, every time you get emotional, because it was quite emotional, because it was all about you. She said, hold the pebble and just feel its surfaces and stop for a second, and then start again, which I did, and I don't think I...
Not really.
Maybe at the end.
And that's a
once or twice.
That is so.
You gave it to me because I did a speech as well. And you gave
I gave you the pebble,
I think Richard talks about this, and he actually,
I don't know, it might be in one of my boxes somewhere.
Be.
Yeah, I'll dig it out. Yeah,
he talks about doing something like that. It's a distraction. So basically, if you feel yourself welling up, reach for the glass of water. Take a moment. So that's the same thing. I love that. What have you got?
Okay, I've read it through and now I understand it. Make sure you sit test your dress.
Oh, yeah.
Just saying 2024 bride who split her dress as she had it too tight. Wow. Donna.
Oh, dear.
Is that Donna? Somebody called Donna. 2020 bride, you did warm me girls.
2024.
2020 bride.
2024.
She had a sports car. Mum, sorry, it's literally just flashed in my head. So she had a really low sports car. I think it was like a red thing, and it was low.
Yeah.
And she wanted her dress so tight, and we kept saying, our seamstress said, if I do it that tight, it's going to split, because we tested her on a low set. We got like a little low chaise long, and she struggled. So girls, if you have got a tight dress, top tip is what the boys do with their trousers. Shift it up, give yourself a bit more fabric up in this area. But I didn't know that she split her dress. But we did tell her. It wasn't so much us, it was her mum going, please tell her, because it was so tight.
And what you
Also,
do.
it's not that comfortable.
Because you don't want to be standing up the whole day.
Or on a really hot day.
Well, it's like being bandaged, in sweat. Sorry, James. Coming down your legs, My stepdaughter is bridesmaid at our wedding, but is adamant on not wearing a dress. Any alternatives? Any ideas on alternatives, Sally? Yeah, get nice trousers.
Really nice jumpsuit.
Nice jumpsuit in the same colour.
Same colour. You don't have to have a dress.
And I think gone are the days where everything needs to be the same colour. You know, you've got your pinks and your lilacs. You can mix those colours in. So if all the bridesmaids are going from a shop and they have all the same dresses, you can get a colour hue that's going to work with that. So it doesn't have to be exactly.
And it's about having more of a theme running through than a solid. Everybody's in that colour.
Yeah, you don't need to have solid colours anymore. No. So I think for the sake of the photos, let her wear what she wants.
Yeah, I'd still have flowers.
Yeah,
because that'll tie in nicely.
Yeah, exactly.
A jumpsuit or a really nice suit.
If you put her in something that she doesn't want to wear, she's gonna look.
She'll feel uncomfortable.
Well, she'll have a face like a smack bum.
Yeah,
she will.
Yeah,
she will.
She will. For the photos.
She will. She's for the photos. It's for the
it.
aesthetics always. Because at the end of it, it's the photos. It's the memories that are left. Isn't
somebody wants to enjoy the day. Don't you?
Exactly.
And you want everyone feeling comfortable.
100%.
No, it's very important. Mine's a bit sad. How can I remember my dad on my wedding day? He passed away 6 months ago and helped with a lot of the wedding planning. Love, Brie. Oh, Brie, that's very sad. We have this a lot, and actually I've got this recently where a couple are getting married soon and her father passed away a couple of weeks ago unexpectedly.
Oh, no.
And they want to continue with the wedding.
Yeah.
But this ties actually to what you were saying about putting things into the dress, like having something of his, maybe like his wedding ring on a little pocket inside.
Always on the heart
Always
side.
on the heart. What else have I done previously? You can also have a picture of him at the ceremony. That might be a bit too emotional.
I think that's quite triggering.
Yeah.
If I got up there and it's like
much.
when you walk in and they've got like the memory table, and I think Top It Off Designs actually have done something really, really smart. Go and have a look at their pages. She was a guest last year. But those faces that you see walking in, it puts a bit of a damper on it. But I saw something on, it might have been TikTok, where all the bridesmaids, or it might have even been the guests as well, all walked up with a rose, a flower.
Oh, lovely.
And all put it on one chair that was next to the bride.
Yeah.
So it was a memory, but not his face there.
Yeah, that's a lovely way
And
to
I
do it.
thought that was so they didn't actually,
more poignant.
they carried one flower and they put it down and they didn't have any other flowers. So it was a mark of respect a little bit. And I thought that was lovely.
With one thing we've also done is where the bride holds her bouquet, we've had a locket with a picture of her dad. And then for this particular wedding in a few weeks, we are doing the speeches straight after the ceremony. Because I think doing the speech, I've said to the couple, if you do the speeches during the meal, it's going to get very emotional. So I think if we do the ceremony into the drinks reception and stand up and do speeches, because they are going to be very emotional, and then that sort of deals with it all, rather than the sort of, in a minute we're going to have to deal with something.
When my dad died, this is a thought, I don't know whether you can do it, where you might need to ask permission of your landowners. Somebody sent me a packet of sunflower seeds, and sunflowers are my favourite, to put in the garden. Would it be nice to, as they walk in, to them have a packet of seeds?
Oh, that's lovely.
And then they can then the guests can go out and scatter them. So wildflowers
idea.
for the bees.
For the bees.
So I think that's quite
a lovely
nice.
idea.
So little packets of seeds, either to take away with them, but to maybe plant, scatter them at the venue, so in a year's time they can come back and then see those flowers. I think
that's
that would
a lovely
be really
idea.
nice.
I think it's important to remember the person and have them there, but not to kind of make it too heavy.
A shrine.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like a candle I think that's gone now.
It's
a bit unsettling. It's a constant reminder that they're not there. You want to...
Or having something at the bar, because my dad passed away just after my wedding, but he was a big drinker, and luckily he was at my wedding just. But if I was to do it now, I'd have had a picture of him at the bar saying, "George wants to buy you a drink."
I was going to say, because you can buy people drinks, exactly.
And like a really nice, happy picture, because that's the sort of thing where people go, "Oh, yeah, he would love this."
I remember the day when he did this.
Rather than the sort of the sad.
It's not a funeral, is it?
No. And it's quite important to kind of. You've got to be very aware of those emotions, but also keep it a wedding.
So, and tying this in with the boxes, this is not just for weddings, but this is keepsakes as well, for people that are no longer with us. Just those little memories, keeping them safe and protected and everything.
And heirlooms.
Heirlooms, yes.
And we've got my grandfather's christening gown.
Have you?
That Ottilie wore at
My
her
daughter.
christening.
My
So
daughter.
it went right down.
How precious.
So it's her
Family
great.
gown. I'm placing an order later today. I need boxes. My husband's going to be.
I need boxes everywhere.
So are we moving?
So talk about that. We're going to do a demo now, aren't we?
Yes. I'm excited.
So we're going to move all the furniture. Come back with us in a couple of seconds, and then we're going to do a demonstration. So welcome back, and we're going to pack a dress, aren't we?
Yes,
Are you going
we
to talk
are.
us through what we're doing?
Yes,
Yeah?
I am.
I see you've got some gloves here.
Yes, I'm going to put some white gloves on because your hands obviously contain sort of oils and things, and if you've had your dress cleaned, which you should have it cleaned before you put it in a box, it's better to have...
Why is it important to clean the dress before?
Well, even if you think, oh, my dress is hardly marked at all, it will come out later in life. You'll see it. You'll see stains of champagne or mud or whatever, so it is best to get it clean.
We use gloves in the boutique whenever customers' dresses come in, and we're checking them, and final steam as well.
Yes.
And when the girls come in to try the dresses on, they go, "Oh, I've cleaned my hands, it's fine," but they've touched the door handle, the door, and they go.
And it's amazing
right,
how much people touch, isn't
Yes.
it? They're constantly like this.
Yeah. So gloves are important.
Very good idea.
Right. Okay. Right. Let's go.
Okay, this is our traditional standard size, which most most dresses fit in, but we do have bigger ones and we do have smaller ones.
Do you want me to take that? Shall I put that here?
Yeah, that's great.
That's beautiful.
So this is the inside of the box. This is our special board, which is pH neutral and stops the dress from discolouring.
You've got this pretty lace as well.
Oh, isn't that beautiful?
Isn't it lovely?
And then ribbon that you tie when you finish.
That's fantastic.
And this is acid-free tissue paper, which is very important to pack the dress with, which I will give you some to Holly.
Okay. And does this all come, is this how it would arrive with you?
Yes. Yes,
oh, wow, so you get a lot of tissue paper.
Loads of paper.
Yeah, loads of tissue. Wow. Like this more in here.
How much should you have at the bottom?
Well, I'm just going to line the box with it,
okay.
So I'll just give you most of that. And this is our details on how to pack the dress. So you do have a step-by-step guide. You can...
It's really easy. I've given this to my younger staff members and said, right, you do it now and practice, and they've done it exactly.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's
so
easy.
It all works. Okay, so I'm going to line the box with some tissue paper just to this.
So you're using 2 sheets at a time?
Yes.
Okay.
But there's plenty of tissue, so you know if you happen to use 3 sheets.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, hold on, that's my job. Let me help you.
Exactly.
Honestly.
Yeah, so I've got a couple of sheets at a time.
And you just like 2 at a time?
Yes, 2 at a time should be fine, but you know, 1 is fine as well.
Is there a different way of packing or a different way of like using more tissues for different materials of dresses?
On the whole, we say don't put something with your dress. Like anything that's made of a different material, don't store it with your dress because it could affect your dress.
Okay.
But if you absolutely had to, separate it with acid-free tissue paper.
Yeah, so they've got like belts on or anything like that. We wrap those separately.
I think
you can take it off.
If you can take it off, then you can.
Yeah, so maybe get your seamstress to take it off after the wedding.
Yeah, and you can put a veil in on top of your dress because sometimes that gives it lots of space to store it.
Is it better to go on top or is it better to go on the bottom?
On top. Anything that's light, put on top.
On top.
Anything that's heavy, put on the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah, and just separate it with lots of tissue paper.
Okay. Do you need more?
No, that's fine.
You want me?
So we're going to start with the dress facing upwards.
So we're doing this sitting down so you can see this properly. Normally you would probably stand up or do it on the floor.
I think on a bed is
yeah.
good because
Oh, yeah,
lots
okay.
of stuff.
Yeah.
And
we do ours in the shop on a big sheet and lay it flat out first.
Now, this dress doesn't have a huge train. No, it's just a little bit of a train. So I'm sort of going into this much of the box. But if it had a long train, you've got all this space. And if it's a really long train, you just fold it back over like that.
Okay.
But so with each layer that you do, you put a layer of acid-free tissue paper.
Okay.
Do you need some more?
Yes.
Just one.
That was your cue.
And do you fold it?
You can fold it. With this, because it's focusing on this small part of the dress, you could fold it like this. You would have done it.
And it's worth taking time to do this.
I'm doing this quite quickly, but this is your moment to, not say goodbye to your dress, but just make sure it's going to be really safe and beautifully packed. So
do you know, please?
No pressure on you here. Everybody's watching you. And everybody's quiet too. So can people send their dresses to you to be packed? Or
people do come to us and I'll pack their dress for them.
Can they find you down the beaten track?
Yeah, it's quite a trek, but no, I'm always very willing to pack their dresses. They're a bit nervous about it, but they do need to come to us.
It's weird, isn't it, that people bring their babies home from the hospital and bring up children and lives and stuff like that, but they're so scared of their wedding dresses.
Yeah.
When I give it to them, they're going, we're taking it home? I'm like, it's not a baby.
Now, I have just put some tissue paper inside the dress.
Yeah.
What you might have is a dress with lots of layers of tissue, lots of layers of skirt and tulle.
Normally about 5 layers per dress.
So you can put tissue paper between each of those layers just to give it a bit of fullness so you're not squashing it too much.
Do you need a layer of tissue between the lace and the silk? Or?
Well, yes. I mean, this dress I will put a layer there. It's sort of, you could go right the way around the dress.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you can pack. You can go really overboard, can't you?
Yeah.
Just pack all the layers and everything.
You can.
But also, I think if you're packing it lots of tissues, then you'll need a bigger box.
What if it's corseted? Do you pack the inside of the corset with the tissue?
Yes. Well, when we get to the bodice bit.
Oh, sorry, I'm rushing.
That's interesting. You say about the corset though. Would you pack it with the corset done up?
That's how mine is at the moment. It's hanging.
Because some of these corsets have like the eyelets, don't they? The metal eyelets.
I think probably pack it done up.
Yeah. Would you have the eyelets taken out, because they can oxidise the eyelets, can't
they're
they?
metal.
So I would probably have them taken out.
It would be better, yeah. It's not always possible to get
You don't want to
off,
dismantle your dress.
Yeah.
But if it is something that's metal, it might be advisable to not store it like that.
Yeah.
Right, so we're going to move the dress over. So
Okay.
I will
over to Holly.
actually pass the dress.
Am I taking it?
Yes.
Am I tissue lady now?
Oh, hold on.
So if we just
Take this one through. Wait there, Mum. Hold on.
Oh, I'm all right
yes,
now.
you can be tissue mum. Tissue mum. So if you hold that there, we've now got the majority of the skirt in the box itself, and people just think, oh, my dress will never go in that box, but actually it's amazing how much they do.
Yeah, if you pack it correctly.
Yeah.
I have the girls, they try and pack their own dresses when they go abroad, and they come out with, I can't get it in the box. One of my top tips, particularly going abroad, is to actually pack the dress inside out, because if they bump into somebody, say at the airport, that drop their coffee everywhere, it's got to go through.
Yes.
The inside layers before it goes to the front. Doesn't matter if your lining is mucky or anything. Like, oh God, so we're talking
we'll
about.
just go for another couple of minutes.
I was better at tissue.
Okay, so that's you've got your skirt in the box.
Yeah.
If you've got this is quite a sort of slender dress. It's not too full, but if you've got a dress that's got some layers of tissue, layers of tulle in it, and it's coming up here, you are storing air. So just gently press down.
That's very good to just storing air. I like that.
Press
Just
down.
taking up real estate.
And you'll find it much lower. Right, now we're going to go
And this
back.
dress is beaded, so the acid-free paper is going to preserve that, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, what I love as well is that you'll be packing this thinking, one day I'm going to take this out.
Well,
And wondering what that moment will be. You know?
Yeah.
And it's lovely to, the way you pack it so beautifully means that when you do open it up, it looks really lovely.
Yes.
And is it important to pack it? Oh yeah, we see it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want some of this in the bust?
you
So
go.
we're now going to pack the bodice.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to put that folded
Oh, it really is like a museum piece, isn't it?
You just put that inside. You can put as much as you want inside.
Okay.
Just for a bit of that, I'm going to do for the sleeve. So I'll just put another little bit.
Oh God, I'm
Because we've
failing
got
here.
plenty of space here.
I'm better at talking than I am being an assistant. Don't employ me.
And then here I'm just going
I'll
to-
come and walk the sheep.
I feel like you and I would not be picked for box making.
No.
Yes.
Oh, we'd be talking too much.
be talking
wouldn't
Oh,
we?
you'd get in trouble.
Yeah.
Would we?
Yeah,
would.
yeah.
With slow production.
We'll be in the hay barn with a Pinot Grigio.
Absolutely.
So I've just put some scrunched up tissue paper into the bust area.
Yeah.
Okay. So that looks like that.
Lovely.
And then
How
I'm just
important-
going to
I was just saying that you've actually moulded that into the bust cup. How important is that to do that?
Well, I think people do have cardboard busts that go into dresses and they pack them with that. But we
Well,
sort of
like
think,
you said, that's not.
Yeah, you don't
gonna
quite know how pure
disintegrate,
isn't it?
that cardboard is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just stick with the acid-free tissue
Okay.
paper. And then if you've got sleeves to the dress, which is not so fashionable now, but sometimes you do.
No, back in.
Back in.
More of my dresses have had sleeves on them than I've ever had before.
Really?
Yeah.
I had sleeves to my dress.
Yeah.
I had a
Sleeves
bolero.
on mine.
Yeah, I had a
But then my bolero has fox on it. So can I
We said
store that?
foxes on it.
No, fox.
No.
So can that be stored with
okay.
my dress? No, so that has to be taken off first.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because it's a completely different medium.
Yeah.
It's an animal too, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it was. Yeah.
Yes, no, I think because
Not
that,
so much now.
that literally
I worry for Turbo the tortoise.
that could disintegrate
Oh,
in a completely
okay.
different way to anything else, and
interesting.
then you really don't want that with your
Okay,
dress.
so I have to have that taken off, which is quite easy because it's only around here.
Yeah.
And then
Fine, that's a really good point.
Interesting.
Really good point. Okay.
So,
So
you'd stuff
that
the
would
sleeves
go
with that.
down the sleeves.
Right,
With this,
okay.
I'm literally.
And then if you did have
stick on.
sleeves, would you sort of put the sleeves downwards, or would you make them into the centre? Where would you take this? Where would you take?
I think just down the side, and then maybe put it across. And again, you're just doing layers, aren't you? So you just put some tissue.
I like what you've done here.
Oh, that's very funny.
So I've just put that bit of folded tissue between the sleeves. And it just stops it indenting, particularly if you've got like a satin skirt and a beaded top, say, and then you don't want that beading to imprint on that satin skirt. So that's important to layer. Yeah. And then I'll just put that over the top like that. And fold these sides in.
Oh, it's like you're tucking it up. Putting it in your bed.
Only till you next need to look at it. So
until you next get married.
No, only till
you meet another man.
You might want a different dress.
Yeah, you might want a different dress.
So then we just pull the lace out.
But we have, this is like the downside of, people buy their wedding dresses and don't necessarily get married.
Yeah.
They split up before
We've had a lot of couples that have a baby.
Yeah.
And then they end up not having a bigger wedding, not wanting the same dress that she picked prior to pregnancy.
Yeah, so one of your boxes went to one of my brides who got married last year, who bought her dress from me 14 years ago.
Oh my goodness.
No.
And it was an off-the-peg dress, so we had it cleaned and then packed it all for her, packed it inside out, did all the layers. I mean, definitely not as good as this, but they had fertility issues and they managed to get treatment. So they literally had baby after baby after baby, because it's more important than getting
of course. Yeah.
And then they just woke up one day and went, we should really get married. She went, I've got my dress in the loft. It will be shit. And got it out and brought it into me. She didn't even open it at home because she thought, I'm going to need another dress. Brought it in for me to unpack, and we opened it up and it came out even smelling the same way that it went back in. And she got married in that dress. It didn't fit her, by the way. We had to rechange everything. 3 babies.
She'd had lots of babies.
And life,
What is the smell from? Is it just from it being?
No, her dress. The smell was from her cleaning of her dress.
Because you mentioned earlier that they come out smelling nice. Is there anything scented
in
there?
No, there's nothing. Okay. I mean, it's in a way.
There's no bar of soap
it's
like my grandma would have done.
Pure, very pure.
Can we put anything else in here, like?
You can, but we tend to say keep it simple. If you want to put like a little memento or something like that, absolutely fine. But then just wrap it in tissue paper.
Okay.
So I think that's important. And you could put a little lavender bag if you wanted. But,
I'm thinking about flies and
yes, you don't want to attract anything.
No.
So you want to leave it sort of fairly pure. Yes.
Okay.
So keep your details on how to pack, but you might want to get your dress out, try it on.
And will this be okay in the box?
Yeah.
Yeah,
because it's got print on it.
Yeah.
No.
But we've not had a problem. So I think it's
just don't wrap it in plastic.
No.
No.
Okay. And where should we store this box afterwards?
So
we'll put the lid on.
Put the lid on and tie the bow. Oh, you can pop that on the top actually. I would say don't store it in the attic, because in the attic it's not centrally heated. You've got changes in humidity, you've got sunlight on the roof, then it's cold, then it's sunlight. You're going to get condensation, you're going to get insects, you're going to get little micey things. You might have
and if you want to wrap it on, it's a long way to go.
you've got to climb upstairs.
Why? The whole point of having a beautiful box is so that you can have it in the spare room.
Yeah.
It's best in a room that's not, that's centrally heated really, and lives like you, and you can have it under the bed, you can have it on top of the wardrobe. But yes, it's
Is the
to
ribbon
be
attached
treasured.
to the box?
Yes.
Oh, that's lovely. So you don't have to worry too much about it being right in place.
And let's do this bow, because we have so many arguments in the boutique. I'm the bow. I'm the bow person.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm the bow person.
Are you? Yeah. See, look at that. That's
you
perfect,
definitely are. That is a beautiful bow.
There we go.
I love that the bow's attached. I mean, that sounds silly, but when you get
not
this
going to slip
home,
off.
This bit isn't going to move into a different.
No,
because getting that straight, it's like
it looks
a Christmas
perfect,
present, isn't it? It's beautiful.
We have to tip that up. Look at how amazing that is.
So lovely.
That is beautiful. thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for asking.
At last, and taking 2 years.
Yes, you're making lots of boxes.
You're very persuasive.
Exactly. I didn't give up. We didn't give up. Where can everybody find you?
So our website is emptybox.co.uk. We're also on Instagram at the Empty Box Co Limited, Company Limited, I think. And we are on Etsy as well for we sort of put one thing at a time on Etsy rather than you don't get as big a choice, but we are there as well. And in bridal shops and dry cleaners across the country. So you've probably seen our boxes without even realising.
Well, again, if you were watching Bridgerton, we can't wait for the next series to come. Have you supplied the new series?
No, I don't think so. No,
maybe
I don't
they
think
might
so.
reuse your boxes.
Yes, we did have a conversation about it.
Watch out on Bridgerton just in case, you know. So, but thank you. Go support our local, our British-made industry. It's so important, isn't it?
Sharon.
You know,
Thank
it is so
very much for
important.
having us.
Oh, no! I know I've loved you. Keep supporting us, people. You're supporting our UK suppliers. It's really important, our industry, and we just absolutely love all your comments coming through. It's so important. As we sit here, we are at 3.2 million views. That is massive, incredible, and it's all down to you guys. So we'll see you all next week. Bye.
Bye.